Hey guys, happy Sunday. Hummingbirds say happy Sunday as well. I hope you guys are having a glorious day and that you are psyched for the upcoming week. Um, how's the first few days of September been? Well, before we dive into all of that, go ahead and check out all the information down below so you can figure out who is this girl. I am Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and you can check out the website, kittensweightsandtarot.com. You can check out my witchy shop, Desert Cauldron, all one word, over on Etsy. Maybe check out my newsletter. I send out a newsletter once a month at the first of every month, and I don't play the spam game, so all you get is newsletter from me, like once a month. So information for that is down below as well. But yeah, I am eager to hear from you guys. How was this past week? Do you have anything planned for today? Today being the full moon in Pisces. Hello, B. But also, earlier today, well, at least in my region of the world here in Arizona, we had our full lunar eclipse, although not visible from here, unless I was on the other side of the world. But I got to see it through my little like Sky Portal app that I have. I was like, hey, the moon's down there and it's eclipsing right now. And actually, it was kind of cool because the peak of its eclipse, our time, was 11:11 a.m. So I was like, yes. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. Definitely let me know what you guys have planned for today, what you had going on last week, maybe what you have going on today or this upcoming week, whether it be meditation wise, healing wise, just shenanigans, maybe some weird occurrences. Maybe you had some family over. I don't know. But I love hearing from you. Our friend Lilith Phoenix is here. Yay. Hello, hello. I say, yay, so excited. Let's go. Loving the hummingbirds. Excellent. And Costalini is here. It says, emotionally turbulent. Whew. Sending you some good juju. I can relate. It has been quite the emotional roller coaster the past few weeks, I would say. And Riley says, hola, amigos y amigas. Lily says, hola, Riley. Sending you emotional balance for our friend Costalini. Hund Wanderer is here, says, home in the trees. Hooray! Yes, I'm back. It's so nice to be back home. And hopefully our little hummers will come by and say hello. Got their feeder right there. Right now they're all buzzing all over the place. Like they're over where the feeder was, and they're like, no, it's here. It'll reappear. I assure you. And then we have some friends playing around up there. So I know that they will be by. Yeah. Okay. So, whew, it's been an interesting, few weeks. As you know, there was all the stuff with my godson and everything, but not just that. It's like the energy, and it can be felt in other people, can be felt in the animals and the trees and the environment of just like, I don't know. It's an interesting mix of like, it feels like a chapter is getting closed out, but also like a portal is being open, plus also like some old stuff that's coming to the surface for healing for like all things, and some really magical stuff and like synchronicity up the wazoo. It's been, it's been a minute. Riley said, welcome home. Yes, yes. So what was it? Not yesterday, maybe it was the day before. So my boyfriend and I were out in the trees because I needed to recharge, after the whole, the funeral and everything. I wanted some hermit mode. So I told my friends, I'm basically going to be on a little like social media cell phone vacay. So I'm not really going to be touching my phone too much. So it was just nice to kind of sit with emotions, just kind of seeing what's coming up, kind of tapping into my godson's energy and just feeling into my own energy and all of that. And then I decided, being in the trees is like my therapy. So I just feel so much more grounded, so much more calm. And so, we went to go look at the stars one night, out in the middle of the forest. Los Boros, I think, is where we were. And then, not last night, but I think it was the night before or day before, we were just kind of like out and about in the trees. And it was just like the animals were just so like wanting to say hello. We actually got to see like over 200 elk just out in the forest. It was like a big old group of them, and I got some video of it. I'll definitely have to make a YouTube short and put that up so you guys can kind of see some of that adventure. I know we can't like cram all of that into like 3 minutes, but just so you can get like a little glimpse of like some of the magic that was happening out there. It was really healing. All the trees, everything just kind of getting ready for that turn of season. I can kind of see it in the bark and the trees and the animals. And there was, what else did we see? We saw the pronghorn, and a couple of them were like, interlocking antlers. They were really like fighting. I think they were just kind of playing. But then they ran off to go hang out with all the elk, all 200 plus elk that were hanging out there. What else did we see? Oh, we saw a horse. So there was like these cows that were just out grazing, and there was like a couple of horses. Well, this one horse, we captured his attention. He was like running alongside the truck, and then he would stop because we were going real slow. And he would run, he would stop, he would stare, he'd be like, and then he's like, "Oh, you're still moving." So he'd go trot, trot, trot. He'd try to keep up with the truck, and then he'd stop and he'd stare. And I'm pretty sure like we probably should have stopped, just to see, hang out with him. But, so that was pretty cool. This horse was trying to keep up with us for a little while, kept trying to get us to stop, I suppose. And then there was, I collected some bones. As you know, I'm a bone collector. So I brought home some bones. And yeah, and then there was another portion where we were going along, kind of like it's like a cattle fence line, and there was this like falcon that was like on the post, and it was like right in front of us. And so we'd drive a little bit, and then he'd like go fly to like a couple of posts down, and then we catch up and he'd fly a couple more posts. It was like we were being led by this falcon. So it was like just so freaking healing and magical just to be surrounded by, nature. And just like, it's like, hey, we got your back. We're here to help you ground and heal and all of that. So I truly appreciated it. And yeah, so that was basically, I guess, my past week was just kind of like integration, and then feeling into today's full moon. Just kind of been taking it easy, not going as crazy as I normally do, because I can be kind of like off the walls. But just like trying to be a little bit more chill. But I feel like I'm getting energized again, and can't wait to start doing some stuff again next week. I have some packages to mail off, got some orders and things with Patreon. And oh, by the way, for my YouTube members and Patreon members, they've been voting for what they want their next exclusive channeling to be on. And I'm pretty sure we've got it to a final vote, but it's going to be for, because I don't think any other vote's going to sway it, but it looks like it's going to be for borderline personality disorder, kind of taking a look into that, seeing what other dimensions have to say about it, other beings, and kind of I'm going to put my feelers out there and see if somebody would like to be a guest interviewer. And hey, I'm putting that out there to you guys as well, if anybody would like to be a guest interviewer for that. And actually that idea came from one of my subscribers. So remember that all the ideas that you guys have that you share with me, I literally put them on a running notes list in my phone. And so I just kind of pick and choose from that list for, topics, channeling topics to be voted on. So thank you for allowing me to utilize your ideas. And I think you guys have some wonderful ideas. You asked some wonderful questions. All right. Let's go back here. Lilith says, Tara, collecting bones reminds me of a book called Women Who Run with the Wolves. Oh my gosh, I read that book. it might have been back in like 2012, 2013. There was a friend of mine that had recommended that book, and they were like, dude, it'll, maybe it won't like change your life, but it's going to give you a whole like perspective. And it did. So highly recommend. If you guys don't know that book, like go check it out, go look at the reviews, maybe look at the synopsis online, but it's a good book. So Lilith, awesome book. All right, you guys. So I did a little something, a little crafting in my little hermitude not last week, last yesterday. Yesterday, I made a spray, kind of for the full moon, but more for like healing and grounding for my meditations and for any like inner work that I'm doing. And I was like, so I found somebody had mentioned online, when they say like, oh, this spray is made with this and this and this. And I use that as like a jumping off point sometimes when creating my own blend. So I won't create it exactly like somebody else did, but it'll be like, ooh, well, that scent reminds me of like, I could add this and I could subtract this and this, and it ends up becoming my own kind of thing. So, ooh, I was leaking a little bit. Oh no, that's just water. Anyway, so the spray that I created, as you know, I sell sprays, so they're on my website, they're on in my Etsy shop, Kittens Waits Tarot. But I like to make personal sprays as well, and sometimes I make them, out of oil. Sometimes I just use the well water. But this one, I got some brand new essential oils and I was eager to use them. And so my new oils are Copal, Sandalwood, and vanilla. And so I used those as the base. And then for the middle notes, I wanted them to have a little bit more lasting effect. Just like I know that the base notes have a really nice lasting effect, but I wanted them to be a little sweeter. And kind of be what's left besides like the top note. So for the middle notes, I put in amber, which is just deep and dark, and I love amber. I could just like wear amber alone, which I do. Nag Champa I put in there, and oh gosh, there was one more. Oh, African violet. And the African violet, I think just like it's sweet enough where it just like sets it all off. All this like smoky, kind of musky, but also kind of sweet, smell. And then for the very top note, which it's there for a while, but I like that the middle notes take over, and that's the vetiver. So it's really nice. Anyway, I called it my Reincarnation Portal because for me, it's like every time I spray it, it's like I'm taken to a different place. Like either I'm taken like to ancient Egypt and I feel like I'm, in amongst the palm trees, or sometimes I feel like I'm taken to, the mountains, which I already am in, but like a different time in the mountains. Or, sometimes I feel like I'm being taken to the deserts, and it's just, and sometimes I feel like I'm all over the place with this spray, but I love the scent. Again, it looks like that. And I have also included inside of it, a Brazilian quartz and aquamarine. And so if you give it a good little shake, 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 and do a little spray, spray. It smells so good. I wish we had smell-o-vision during these live chats. But for those of you that are, essential oil little wizards, yeah, I will, at the end of this live chat in the description, I'll put my little recipe for this so that you guys can have at it. Maybe if you didn't want to recreate this exact spray, use it. The ingredients is like a jumping off point for your own creativity. So, and I say this because I also, every once in a while, some people will contact me and they're like, hey, I don't see like the spray that I'm looking for on your site, but could you make, X, Y, or Z for, whatever it is that they're, working through, or a type of energy they're trying to bring in. So I've done many like custom sprays for people. And sometimes people don't want the spray, they want it like as an oil, or they want me to create like a personal like herbal blend, you know, a herbal smoke blend, either for them to use as incense or for actual herbal smokes. So if you guys are interested in that, just know that you can reach out to me anytime, and I am more than happy to do personal blends and things like, because like that's my thing. Like I love to play in my essential oils and crystals and herbs and, you know, things like that. So being able to create something based on someone's energy, or an energy that somebody is asking for, is like playtime for me. Like it's so much fun to do. So I'm putting that out there in case you guys are ever interested. Okay, so this spray just smells. I smell the African violet, and the sandalwood is like so strong. I love it. Okay. So I want to dive into our reading for this week, but I kind of wanted to use a spread from Sasha Graham's book, her 365 tarot spreads, because there is a good spread for the lunar eclipse today. So I thought we could do that for our week ahead. But I did want to give a shout out to all of our lovely friends that hang out with us during these Sunday live chats, all of my mighty, mighty moderators who wield the wrench of destiny, all of my YouTube members, you know who you are. You got the little colored kitty head next to your name, Kayla and Nancy and Jonathan Cleese and Jolene and Duality Tales and Sea Captain 8611 and Costalini. Thank you for all of your support, and for my lovely patrons, Lily and Dana and Jamie and Kayla and Sugna Baby and Brandy, Jason, Brian, Palu, Crystal, Easy Does It, 1111, Joel, Casey Gritter, Oz, and Ashley. Thank you. Thank you all so very much. Okay, so I have a few decks to show you guys. I would like to use today the Inner Temple Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I love her work, and I love the artists that she chooses to kind of bring her words to life. So let me just give you a little show ski, because I'm not sure if that might have already been released. I don't know. I got a few decks that were pre-releases, and I felt like so bougie special. I was like, because if anybody who like knows me, I like rarely get anything when it's brand new, whether it be a car, a cell phone, a deck. Like, I usually wait a really long time. I got to feel into it. So the fact that they were sent to me was just like, ooh, like I feel special. Okay, so the backs of these cards look just like this, and the art, which the artwork is by Katie Louise. She does some amazing stuff. And some of the cards are reversible, which I like. The like positive and negative are basically light and shadow aspect. So yeah, if you guys want me to do a review on this deck, I would be more than happy. But I would like to use it in our spread today, that's for sure. So okay, I'll have this deck, and I think I want to use one more. How about this, since I was talking about how much I love herbs? The herbal tea magic for the modern witch. Yeah, let's do this one. Hey, our friend Lily is here. What's up, Lily? Okay, so, and this deck looks like this, just for all of my herbal friends out there who are interested. It's nice. It's a nice deck. And ooh, I'm gonna be posting on Instagram. Speaking of like, I was looking at the butterfly pea flower, and it reminded me of the bluebells that are currently growing on Rex's grave. So as you know, I put out all these flower seeds, like 5 different flower packets or something, but the sunflowers are blooming. The bluebells, the Mexican bluebells, have bloomed, and those were the first to bloom. There's a couple like native, well, they're they're in the daisy family. They're these little white flowers that kind of just grow in the area. And it's nice that those popped up too, just from all the rain that we've had. So that's kind of in the mix. There's also some red California poppies that have popped up. The poppies have popped. And then I also have some beautifully colored nasturtium. There's a lot of nasturtium. Actually, that's probably what's kind of taken off. And then there's a bunch of primrose that's grown, but the primrose hasn't, it's Mexican primrose, but it hasn't bloomed yet. So that's the last flower to bloom, but it just looks so pretty. And I'm just like, my little flower heart. I'm just like, oh, so beautiful. And I think Rex loves it. So I'll definitely post a picture of that on Instagram so you guys can check it out too, because it's just so beautiful. Just like tap in with your heart chakra, just tap into the vibes. Okay. So getting into the spread for today, we have Sasha Graham's 365 Tarot Spreads. Freaking love this book. Had this book for many years. I think it's well done. So I keep going back to it time and time again. So I'm just like, it's like I'm not like trying to kiss Sasha Graham's butt. It's that I really like this book, and plus I like to give a shout out to authors, artists, things like that. So I think where appreciation is due. Okay, so this is called the lunar eclipse spread, because today, lunar eclipse and such. Let's see, the summation of this spread, it says the lunar eclipse magic is very potente. A lunar eclipse only happens during a full moon as the Earth's shadow passes over the moon's face. Evoking the triple goddess, this spread's questions regard aspects of deep magic for clarity and wisdom in daily life. It says ancient Egyptian stories regaled lunar eclipses as a sow swallowing the moon. Mayans interpreted it as a jaguar swallowing the moon. Many cultures viewed lunar eclipses as demons swallowing the moon. They would chase the eclipse away by yelling and throwing stones at it. Ooh. And there's also the story of, was it Christopher Columbus, when he was trying to trick the Jamaican natives. He had already stolen from them, but then he was trying to trick them into believing they should give him whatever it was that they had, just like supplies and things like that, where he said he had an almanac where he knew when the eclipse was going to be. And so he tricked them into saying, well, if you don't do what I say, my God is going to be very angry at you. And so he was trying to prove that the eclipse that they were seeing is something that his God was doing. And so they became very scared, and then they, gave over their stuff. So it seems like sometimes, it can be seen in shadow, but there's also a lot of light aspect that happens with eclipses. Obviously, some people who, whenever they feel like they have more knowledge than somebody else, will try to utilize that knowledge over other people. Not always, but I'm saying the shadow aspect is that's, what will happen. But then the light aspect is that when we have that understanding of something that is very natural like that we can utilize it to our own magical advantage. Okay, so for casting the cards, it says the lunar eclipse spread can be performed any time, but has extra strength at the night of an eclipse. And like I said, here in Arizona, our eclipse kind of has already happened, but we still feel the vibes, even though the moon is technically underneath us, although it might be popping out sometime later tonight. It says cast in the shape of a waxing moon, indicative of growing abundance. So something like this, but you don't have to cast it in the crescent moon shape. You guys can do whatever you want. Okay, so here are the questions. Please don't fret if you don't hear all the questions right now. I'll go through them one by one. Okay, question 1. What lies at the heart of your magic? Number 2, what is the lesson of your early life thus far? So we're talking about this incarnation right now. Number 3, what is the challenge in the present moment, in where you are currently in your life? Number 4, what is the wisdom learned later in life? And number 5, what must be removed at this time? Number 6, what must emerge? And lastly, how do I harness the power of the moon? All right. That sounds like fun skis. Okay, so let me not lose my page here. I'm going to place this right in front of me. Like so. Okay, okay. Have my cards here. Let's see. Let's go back. Shadowlands. Hey, our friend Shadowlands says, "Hey, making pizza for dinner." Ooh, I was thinking of pizza earlier. Sounds delicious. Now you got my tummy grumbling. Can't wait to see if I can use both my original and new tails in the two biggest public pools near me without a scuba license next summer. So cool. By the way, if you guys don't know, Shadowlands was sending me pictures of her tail, her mermaid tail, actually, on Instagram. It looks so beautiful. Like all of my little mermaid dreams. It looks awesome. Like when I was younger, back when the Little Mermaid came out, I used to like keep my legs together and try to like swim like a mermaid in the pool. And then later, when I was older, I saw that that could actually be a profession. Like people could be professional mermaids, and I was like, oh, that is awesome. So I love that people can design their own tails and things like that. So very cool, Shadowlands. Gina said hummingbird. Oh, yay, we had a visitor. Excellent. Time Harvest is here. Says, hi, beautiful souls. Says, Tara, I don't really have my cable internet today. I'm on my phone mobile data. I guess I won't be the host today. Hey, no worries. I do appreciate you being here, though. So I'm sure we can find one of our friends to jump in and help us with our Andromedan channeling after our reading that we do here. So we're going to do part 2 of channeling our friends from Andromeda. Lilith says, hi. Time Harvest. Time Harvest says, hit the like button, gang. Hey, thank you. And then Shadowlands, I will remember you for, we're going to be pulling a card for you as well. I will do it actually after a weekly reading. I'll pull you a card. So an eclipse, says eclipses are times of transformation. So we'll definitely pull a card for that. Awesome. And then Riley is asking, would anyone be willing to be the guest host for today? People in the channel will ask questions they want answers to, and you simply read them to moi. Says you do not have to have your picture on the screen if you don't want to. That is absolutely right. There are some people that, for one reason or another, they just, don't want to be seen today, and that's fine. And we would just have audio from you. So we could do it that way. Or if you would like to have your beautiful visage on the internet, then we could do that too. Time Harvest says, damn, Riley, I really wish I was the host today. I was excited the whole week for this. Says, it's not every day one has the opportunity to talk to an Andromedan alien. And Lily's like, ooh. I mean, there's a lot of you in here that I think would be really good guests. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on this spread, and then we'll get to our friend Shadowlands. We'll pull a card for her, and then we'll get into our channeling. And then afterwards, if anybody else would like to do super chats and super stickers, we can do that then. And then we'll do our channeled guided meditation and call it a Sunday. All right, so first card. What lies at the heart of your magic? And if you're going to be pulling cards along with us, please let me know what deck you're utilizing, or if you're not utilizing cards at all, maybe you're utilizing runes or just good old-fashioned intuition and you're channeling these messages. Let us know what you guys are getting. Okay. Riley said, come on, Lily, you can do it, and you're beautiful too to boot. She is. You guys all are. You guys are all gorgeous souls. Okay. So what lies at the heart of our magic? So you guys can pull the cards individually for yourself. I'm going to do it more in a collective sense. So what lies at the heart of the collective's magic? Let's do that. Boop, boop, boop. Boopity boop. Yes, dog, we know you're there. Oh, it's one of the ones that we get to flip. So actually, I like to toss it. So I'm going to toss it at the computer so that way it doesn't fly all over the place. Let's see what I have. Hold on. without hitting any keys. We have aligned. Ooh. Okay. So what lies at the heart of the collective's magic is that technically we are all working towards a very similar thing, and that is learning and expansion, as well as a host of other things. So here you have Source, God, and all of us being a piece of that, all of us on our own individual missions, our own journeys and life paths, and some of us, taking the part or playing the part of the shadow in this lifetime. Some are playing the part of the light, some are playing something within the middle, neutrality, and somehow all together in all of these different perspectives and experiences and ups and downs and expansions and contractions, we're all singularly aligned. We are all one, and it is all helping the consciousness that is all of us. So I think that's beautiful. That's definitely, I can agree with that, that lies at the heart of the collective's magic. Very nice. Ooh, and Shadowlands. Wow, can't wait to pull some cards for you too, my friend. Time Harvest says stuff happens. It does, but no worries, no worries. What did I just do with my deck? My deck up and ran away from me. But see, Lilith says, sounds like the new will give you a lot of control. Yes. Oh, and Shadowlands was saying, my original tail came from Canada. My new tail has a heavy piece of vinyl in the fluke, so it's a bit of a workout getting into the new tail. Original tail is so much lighter. Well, I guess you'll have your one tail that is for just kind of chilling, and the other one if you want to get like mermaid buff, Okay, so let's pull some other cards, and I'm going to utilize the herbal tea magic deck. What is the lesson of the collective in our collective early lives? I don't know. And that's also subjective, because what do you consider early life? Some people might say, well, early life was anywhere from between 1 and 100 years old. For some people, they say, oh, early life's between 1 and 12, So that's subjective, but just in general, in the all of us, humans, animals, ETs, everything, in the whole collective, as we initially incarnate, what is the lesson? What is the lesson in our as we come into an incarnation, as we say? Oops, I don't want to lose my little paper here. There we go. Ooh, we have spearmint. Spearmint is delicious in teas. Actually, also really good for the tummy and teeth. Okay, so spearmint, speaking up, cleverness, quickness. Okay, so let's tap into this one. Actually, let me just tap into spearmint's energy itself. I like to connect to my little herbies. So the lessons of early life, in general, so I'm not speaking to any one individual person, but in general, it's for us to do things without thinking and then see what comes from it. So it's not to say that that's a bad thing, or you should do this or that, but it's more that is kind of the push to, in our early parts of our life, to just do without thinking, and then just see what the result is. You might find that you really like that result. You might find that overthinking actually derails from what you're originally intending, or you might find that thinking just a little bit is kind of where you need to be, or you might find that, I need to leave my whole ego and thinking out of it, and I've had some really wonderful experiences that way. Or you might find that it's just a balance. Sometimes it's something I might deem positive experiences, sometimes I might deem it negative experiences, but it has nothing to do with maybe how I'm making my choices or decisions, whether I'm thinking, overthinking, or underthinking, or not thinking at all. So That's interesting. So the lessons of early life is they push us to just kind of do without thinking first, without the logic, and then just see what happens. See if maybe you really enjoyed that experience, or maybe there was a lot of lessons to come from that experience. But that's all it is, really. It's just an experience, and how we categorize it as good or bad, that's subjective. That's due to our perception of things, based on our belief systems and how we were raised, and all of that. But I like that. I like that. That's wonderful. So I'm gonna put that little card to the side there. Hold on. You just put all these cards off to the side so they don't fly away. All right. So let's see. Lily says, I'll do it if there are no takers. Yay! I love to have Lily do the guest interview. And Time Harvest says, hey, Tara, I saw you shooting those guns. I didn't know you like pew-pews. I sure do. I really do. I have shot pew-pews since I was a toddler, actually. I didn't get to shoot them at my house, but whenever I visited my grandparents, because they had a nice big property. Yeah, I like them. I think they're fun, actually. Let's see. Lilith's saying, yay. Okay, question number three. What is the challenge of the present? Or you might say middle life, basically where we are right now. So what is the collective challenge in being in the present? What is the collective challenge of being in the present? Ooh, cloves. Clove in moderation can make some delicious things, including pumpkin pie, pumpkin spice. In moderation, really good at numbing like if you had a pure clove oil, putting that like on your gums, like wherever you have like tooth pain, diluting it, of course, otherwise it really burns. But yeah, clove used medicinally for upset stomachs, for making delicious chai pumpkin lattes. Okay, but cloves, it says protection, prosperity, courage. So the challenge of being in the present. Clove, what do you have to say? Oh, the collective challenge, again, not speaking to any one person. This is just in general, collective in general. That the challenge we face collectively is being confident in who we are and what we want in the present. Basically standing in our power. We might become second guess ourselves and like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't know if I'm going where I'm supposed to be going. I don't know if I should be eating this right now. I don't know if. So we look to things outside of ourselves. You might, look to different, like, what did this YouTuber do? Or, call my sister, like, what does she do? And, and then we take all these different opinions to kind of help us move forward. But what if, before we asked for the advice of other people and the opinions of other people, if we just did what was in our heart? And it seems like that is something that is the biggest challenge for the collective, is just going from the heart space, because we're so used to, at least here on Earth, in this earthly third dimension, we're so used to being guided, being told what to do. Like, you need to be doing this right now, and you need to be doing this. That we trust what we hear. We trust with the mind more than we trust with our gut instinct, with our heart. And so we might be feeling that I should be going over there right now, but it's like, but since I don't have a whole lot of trust in my own intuition, I immediately maybe go to asking somebody else, what would you do right now? And they might say, go that way. But that might be just what their path is telling them to go that way. So we might go that way, and then, maybe it works out for us, maybe it doesn't. But just in general, it's saying what we struggle with the most in this present moment is just trusting ourselves, standing in our own power. Just like clove. Clove is its own biggest medicine, and man, is it powerful. Okay. Let's see. Shadowlands is saying pizza for everyone. Oh man, Shadowlands, you are making me hungry. I have been thinking about pizza since yesterday. I was like thinking, it would be really good to take English muffins, put a little bit of really good marinara sauce, not some like crappy marinara, but like good mamacita marinara sauce, and put some like mozzarella, basilica, put a little bit of tomates, I think, yeah, that would be really good. But alas, I don't think that's what we're having for dinner. Let's see. Lilith says, I'm taking clove with wormwood and green black walnut tincture at the moment. Ooh, ooh, that is some powerful medicine right there. Man, wormwood, um, so good for like a whole lot of ailments, especially like upset tummy, feeling like nervous system. Just, I can go on and on. That's some powerful stuff you got going on there. Time Harvest says, what's your favorite gun? Mine is a Springfield Hellcat. Oh, really? Hey, nice. Well, the one that I feel that I shoot the best is one that's not it's not well known because it's made in Montenegro, but it's literally called the Terra pistol. I may have gotten it because it has my name on it, but it's a really good gun. It's by Terra Aerospace, also known as Terra Industries, TARA, and it's the TM9X, and I feel that it shoots really well, so I really like that. But the one that I had wanted forever and I finally got was my Dirty Harry gun in the 8 7/8 inch barrel in a nickel finish. Yeah, that's 44 Magnum. I love my revolvers. So I'd say that's probably like my favorite, although I don't know, I like all of them. I don't think I have any that I'm like, meh. I like all of them. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, so if you're wondering what model that is, it's model 29 Smith & Wesson. Shadowland says, I've done that before. Ooh, the little like pizza bites. So delicious. Time Harvest says, mozzarella cheese is my favorite to do with burritos. It melts down like pizza. Mozzarella in a burrito. Now that's the stuff right there. Oh. So many ideas. Thank you. Lily's like eating pizza now. What? Lucky. Time Harvest says, I will look it up. The Terra pistol. Yeah, it's a TM9X. There was the TM9, and that had some like issues, but the TM9X is an improvement and it's really, really good. It says, I like them, the Beretta 22, so cute. Oh, I have a little 22 as well. It's a now I can't remember because I don't shoot it that often because I usually like bigger calibers, but I like my 22s. But it's just like it's a cattleman's, but it's meant to like the cattleman's 1867 or something like that. But it's I could see the box in my head and I'm trying to read the cover of the box. I'm like, come on, don't look so blurry to me. But it's an Italian made gun to be a replica of something back from the 1800s. And it's like pretty cool. I love the handle and everything. And Riley said, Ruger. Oh, that one. Yep, that's it. Hey, our buddy John is here as well. What's up? All right. I digress. Let us go back to our spread. Okay, so what is the wisdom the collective will learn later in life? Whatever you guys consider later in life to be. Maybe for me, I might consider my later years to be once I've hit 104, maybe. Then I'm in my later years. Maybe. Oh, wow, Shadowlands, this says, I'm otherkin. Otherkin believe that even spiritually, we are partially mythical beings. I am a mermaid. That's awesome. I probably would identify as part unicorn. Like, seriously. Okay, so what is the wisdom that the collective might learn in later life. What is to be learned? What wisdom is to be learned in our later life as a collective? And we have blackberry leaf. Oh my goodness, especially in late summer, blackberry is like the thing, at least here in the Northern Hemisphere for late summer. Money, overcoming challenges, return to sender. Well, that's because blackberry leaf is like really a powerful protectant, but also really good at powerfully protecting our wonderful immune system. Okay, so what is the wisdom to be learned later in life? The wisdom to be learned is that there are no bad experiences. Again, like I said, we place our own personal viewpoint on what is a good experience and a bad experience. But according to source energy, according to God, it's like there are no bad experiences. Everything is just that. It's just an experience. We might say, but that experience made me like I cried a lot, or I felt really heavy with that experience. Well, then that's what we're feeling. Then we wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, though. It just had these certain feelings come up, and we have to understand why we were feeling that way. Who was involved? What did I learn from this? What could the other people have learned, let's say, from this situation? How could I heal from this? What was being brought in because of this, so that I could learn this. And for that, I show, gratitude and appreciation, so that I know that maybe that's something I want to continue in the future. Maybe I don't want to continue in the future, but that's something that's coming in, just that wisdom that we don't maybe get until the collective is much older, if linear time exists with that. But it's the understanding that everything was just an experience, and in that experience we choose to learn from it, or we choose not to learn from it. We choose to embrace it or release it. We choose to deem it good or bad, but that's all of our free will choice. That's where our free will comes in. We decide whether or not we want to take an experience or not take that experience. I want to learn from it, or I don't want to learn from it. And even in saying I don't want to learn from that experience, we're still learning from it, right? So it's like with us, it's learning, in all things. So I love it. Thank you, Blackberry Leaf. You're so smart. Okay. Question number 5. What must the collective remove at this time? All right, let's take a look, Ski. Time Harvest says, I identify as a kitten. Oh, yes. Our little Lyran over there. Shadowland says, that would be Therian. Oh, Time Harvest said, or a furry. Shadowland says, no, furry is a fandom about anthropomorphic animals. Oh, well, see, this is all stuff I don't know, and I find very fascinating. Thank you, Shadowlands. Okay, so what must the collective remove at this time? Again, we choose to or not to follow this advice, but we have rose. My favorite flower in the whole world, next to sunflowers. I love sunflowers, but I really love rose. Rose, romance, glamour, sweet times. Okay, so what must be removed? Definitely not romance, right? Okay, Rose, what do you have to say? You tell me. What must be removed at this time is, and again, we make the choice whether or not we would take this advice or not. The idea that we are defenseless, that we are just, this insignificant little creatures on this spinning ball in this massive universe. Something I learned recently, actually, through a client's channeling. I don't remember their whole channeling, but there's bits and pieces that I remember. And one of those pieces was that when we connect to our guides or angels, or, you know, and we say, you know, we're trying to get all these beings from all these different dimensions or places, or maybe even calling upon our ancestors and saying, hey, I need your help, because we may assume, and again, I'm generalizing, I'm not saying for each and every one of you, we may say, you know, they must have some greater knowledge than I do, because they're in the fourth dimension, or they're in the fifth dimension, or they've already crossed over, so they have some, you know, they know something that I don't know, so they must be, i.e., more powerful or stronger or more knowledgeable than me. And one of the beings that I had connected to in the channeling was like, that's just not true. You know, we're all equal. We have, you know, equal strengths and weaknesses, or things that we're not knowledgeable of, or things that we're very knowledgeable of. And that's the whole purpose in connecting to one another, is that we share this with each other. It's shared in that collective consciousness. And so just as we may, let's say, uh, we may call upon, I don't know, my grandmother, you know, she's crossed over. I say, I call upon my grandmother. But it says the moment you make that connection, the reason that you're wanting to connect to that being is because on an energetic level, that being has called out to you. That being says, I want your help. So if I'm saying I want grandma's help right now, because I need some clarity in this third dimension, I need some help, and I would really love it if my grandmother were here. The reason I'm thinking of her and connecting to her is because at the same moment she is wanting to connect to me, and my grandmother is saying, I need help, I need guidance, and only my granddaughter in the third dimension, who's still currently incarnated, can help me out with the problem that I'm having, because it's hard to see in the fourth dimension. And so it's like a little perspective shift that we are knowledgeable too. We, you know, we're not insignificant. We're not just these, like, you know, doltish, like, humans walking around 3D. Like, we have a lot to offer. That's why we incarnated into 3D in the first place, is because there's a lot that we can get here that we just can't get in any other dimension. And then we take that back with us, you know? So there's we offer a lot. And so any being that you've connected to, any being, let's say I've channeled, let's say I channeled, well, actually the Andromedans, because we're going to literally channel them again. But even the Andromedans, I'm like, wow, they're so advanced. They're like 5D, you know? And it was really a perspective shift when I did that recent client channeling, where I was like, wow. So even though I would like reach out to them, because I'm like, man, they got some wisdom to share, it's because they're also connecting to us, and they want to learn as well. You know, they don't know everything. No one being knows everything except the collective consciousness itself, because it is all things. Okay, I like that. That is cool. Okay, so what must emerge at this time then? Let's see. Time Harvest says, I don't like tagging myself. Anything but Lyran. Okay. Or, well, I was going to say something else. There's, dude, I learned so much in people's channelings. Like, holy heck. Lilith says, rose tea is the best. Love rose tea. I love actually adding roses to all tea. But you know what's really good? Rose ice cream. I first ate rose ice cream when I went with my friends to an Iranian restaurant. Oh, so good. Gina says, love that. Thanks, Rose. And Shadowland says, Therians and other kin also have some of the physical behaviors of the animal/mythical creatures have. And Tarv Harvest says, yay, yay. And Lewis says, I wonder if mythical beings aren't that mythical, perhaps merely otherworldly beings. You know, I truly believe that. I mean, there are some quote unquote mythical beings that I've connected to, which means that they do have an energy and they do have a consciousness. So that's interesting, but they may not be here in the 3D. Shadowland says, Lilith, mythical beings like the merfolk or unicorns may have actually been in 3D reality until we chase them out of this plane. Oh, interesting. And Time Harvest says, if we have been every 100 of aliens in all incarnations, then why do we identify ourselves as only one? Like myself as Lyran and you as Blue Avian. Because it might be just the energy that we're embracing at that time, or at this time. You know, like for me, even though I'm pretty sure, you know, I mean, even if I haven't physically incarnated as all those things, I know that in the law of one, we are still all those things because we're connected to that collective. But at this moment in my life, I might say I'm only connected to blue avians right now, or not only connected to, but identify more with than as opposed to other energies because of maybe the energy I'm going through or where I am or my learning lessons. And so for you, um, connecting to that Lyrian part of yourself might just be because that's what's helping you through your mission right now, your journey, your lessons, your ups and your downs, is being through the eyes of a human connecting with its Lyrian aspect. And so that's just my best guess. I'm not saying like I'm I'm 100% right on that, but that's kind of how I feel it to be. Even though I know I am all things, I just feel like I connect more closely with that aspect of myself. And I think the same is like when we connect to certain, like, let's say deities. It could be that that's an aspect of ourself that we're trying to call upon or bring in more of or just align with, or release, you know, it might be. So that's interesting, very interesting. And Lilith says, let's ask the Andromedans. Ooh, yes, Lilith, keep that question in mind. I love that. And John says, literally speaking to my coworker about dimensions and connection. Dude, where do you work? That sounds awesome. I love that. I love that. And Gina says, I'm blue avian as well. Hey, high five, sister. And Shadowland says, also, I've had dreams of being a mermaid living on a water planet. I mean, you probably were. I did a channeling on mermaids, and that was a really unique energy. So that's super cool. Actually ties in with your name, Shadowlands. I mean, if you saw the channeling, you would understand that it's, yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, so what must emerge at this time? Ooh, what must emerge at this time? Get it? Nice. I like when the universe is cheeky. Multiplying, romantic attraction, vibe check. Okay, so time. And I started thinking of a Smashing Pumpkins song. Time is never time enough. Okay, so what must emerge at this time? You tell me time, what time it is. Okay. Okay, so I don't feel like it's like a big, huge task for the collective. Um, but it says every time along this journey, um, we have a belief challenged, or let's say we've now adopted a new belief, or we've adopted a new way of looking at things, kind of like the hangman in tarot. Um, it's always good to show gratitude and thank the old belief because it helped you for a time. It aided you for a certain portion of your journey, and it doesn't matter, you know, like who instilled that belief in you, or you know where you got it from. You can thank them as well, because it was there for a reason at the time that you needed it. And so, as these new perspectives, these new beliefs come in and or you know are challenged, you know, think of what you used to believe and say, you know what, and I appreciate where that got me. I appreciate the journey that belief took me on, and now I release it with love back into the ether so that the ethers can transmute it and do whatever it needs. But that is something that collective consciousness is trying to have emerge at this time. Oh, hey, little Hummer. It's just the allowing ourselves to show gratitude for old beliefs instead of like, man, I'm glad I don't believe that anymore. Like, kick it to the curb. It's like, no, wait a minute. That served us for a portion of our life, you know, or it served us for that particular chapter. So let's understand how it served us. Let's understand, you know, how we worked with it, what it led to, our, you know, our decision making, the different pathways we went down, and be like, you know what, cool, because that's all part of my life experiences. Thanks, you know, as I send that old belief on its way. What a beautiful thing to have emerged, a different perspective on releasing beliefs, old beliefs. Okay, let's see. Gina said, high five. And Lilith, we might just have been a mixture of the various DNA donated by many beings. One's more prominent than others in individuals, but definitely more than one for sure. I like that perspective too. And also could just be another a layer. Like, I think that there's never just one answer for things. I feel that just in the things that I've encountered, sometimes multiple answers, even contradictory, can be true at the same time. Time Harvest is Gina. Blue avians are cool AF. And Gina says, I just found out a few months ago, learning a lot about them. That's actually how I found Tara. Oh, wow. That's cool. Love it. And Shadowland says, my new tail looks a lot like my spiritual tail. Ooh, very nice. Okay, final question. Actually, let's use my other deck, my Rebecca Campbell deck for that one. Okay, here we go. Here we go again on my own. Okay. Ooh, just watch me. So how do I harness the power of the moon? You harness it by harnessing your own power. You are all things. You are the sun, you are the moon, you are your enemy, you are your best friend, you are your mother, your father, you are everything. You are the Hummers. You are all of these things. And so when you're wanting to say, you know, man, the moon has such, you know, such intensity, such energy. I wish I had that. Well, come into the realization that you are that. So if you are the moon, what are you going to do? Just watch yourself. Watch me. Just watch me. So yeah, harnessing the power of the moon is harnessing your own power, your own innate power, your power to make decisions, your power to trust your intuition, your power to create things, your power to help others, your power to live in your heart space, your power to give as well as receive in equal time. It's all things. So it's, yeah, I love that. Discovering, rediscovering, and embracing the moon is you. You are the moon. Okay, let me put these cards to the side. Shadowlands, I'm going to pull a few cards for you since you so graciously donated. And then we'll do our channeling. If Lily's still around, she'll be our guest interviewer, but we'll do our channeling of some Andromedan friends, part 2. And then afterwards, if anybody else would like to do super chats and super stickers, we'll do them then. Okay, so let me put this deck away like so. And I'm going to grab another deck to do my card pulls on. Doop-a-doop, doop-a-doop. Come on. You want to get in your box. Okay. I have my Native Spirit Oracle cards. Okay, so Shadowlands had quite a few questions or statements, but I definitely love to pull a card on them. Okay, so the first one, I believe Shadowlands had says, for me, eclipses are times of transformation. So, oh, looks like Charlie's out there barking his head off. You guys remember Charlie. Okay, so eclipses, times of transformation. Let's see if I hear any music playing. You know, it could be that you were talking all the mermaid stuff and maybe, you know, I was kind of feeling into the Little Mermaid, but I keep trying to like turn it off because I was like afraid that that's my ego trying to play part of your world, part of this world from the Little Mermaid. But no, like that's literally what's playing in your soul right now. So look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Wouldn't you think my collection's complete? Wouldn't you think I'm the girl who has everything? Look at this trove, treasures untold. How many wonders could one cavern hold? Looking around here, you think, sure, she's got everything. Okay, so let's pull a card for you. Ooh, Dream Traveler. Okay, so Shadowlands, something that was coming through from what you said, you know, the eclipses are times of transformation, and also the song that I was hearing, is a reminder that this very intense energetic time right now is starting to blend our waking world with our non-waking world, i.e. our dream world. So you may notice that things that normally we can just do in dreams, like some of us can fly in our dreams, and some of us, you know, can just walk through walls in our dreams, or we could just magically make a pumpkin pie appear in our hands. Actually, my dream last night, I at some point recognized that I was dreaming, and I had so much fun because I literally told myself, Tara, you're dreaming. And I was like, oh, yes. Now the shenanigans that we can get into. I had a lot of fun. Anyway, I walked through walls. I was flying. I was making all kinds of chocolate appear. So just know that whatever you are focusing your intent on, just like when you do in a dream and it just like instantly happens, because that's the dream world, the astral world, you know, it's fully energetic. There's no physical vessel involved. So everything's just instantaneous. But the waking world seems to be so much more slow paced, you know, because it's so much more dense. We have physicality to it. But know that now, with the energy that the whole collective is going through, possibly even a whole portal of time, what we focus on in physicality will now start increasing for you, just like it does in your sleeping state, in your astral state or dream state. So be very mindful of the things that you are placing your focus and energy on here in the 3D, because it's going to start like really ramping up if you haven't already noticed that. So be prepared. Again, if you haven't already noticed that some things, it's like, wow, I was literally just thinking that, and there it is. Or, wow, that's a strange thing. That was like something so random that popped into my head, and there it is. It's like, you know, so just letting you know, like, the reason that you're noticing those things, or that you will be noticing those things, is a reminder that, hey, you can create something pretty cool right now, but you have to be 100% focused and in the present, mindful of what you're doing. Okay. So you had a couple other statements here, Shadowlands, and you were talking about your original tale that came from Canada, and how the new piece has a heavy piece of vinyl fluke. Oh yeah, so one is like the workout tale, and one is like the light, kind of like just chillax spiritual tale. Okay, so let's dive in to that. And okay, so it's not so much a song that I'm hearing than a horn, like somebody's honking the horn. And I guarantee you, there's literally nobody honking their horn right now. But I'm saying, Clara auditorially is what I'm hearing. Just like the honking of the horn, but not just any old like modern car horn. I'm talking like Model T, like Aruga, you know, kind of horn. Interesting. Okay. So let's take a look at that tail. What is the energy of that tail? Why are we getting this horn sound? Ooh, we have flowing river, kind of like we'd think of with your tail, kind of flowing, right? Okay, something to keep in mind, like with the honking of the horn. Just, I guess that's more just to draw your attention to the reading. You know how you said that you know, due to the newest tail has been created, it's a little bit more difficult to maneuver or work with than the much lighter one. And think about those as being symbols for things in your life. You know, are you drawn to things regardless of whether they seem easier to do or more difficult to do? Or are you drawn to the things that are more difficult to do or the things that are more easier to do? And how do you feel about them? You know, do you shy away? Do you embrace it? So just like with the tail, you know, I'm sure you absolutely love the new tail that you have, but you said it might be more difficult to maneuver. But as you utilize that tail, think about what's coming up for you. You know, how do you feel when you're maneuvering that tail? What's coming to mind? What energy do you feel that that tail is in, as opposed to the one that you say is much lighter? Do you feel more connected to that one, and why? What about its the way that it works and its actual physical lightness do you appreciate more than one that is more cumbersome, let's say? And these are just kind of things to think about. So there was a reason why the two tails have such a contrasting energy to them, or the way they function is so that you could utilize that as a somewhat of a symbol in your own life. So very interesting. Okay, cool. And then there was one more question that you had, or a statement. You said that you were otherkin, and otherkin believed that even spiritually we're partially mythical beings, and that you are a mermaid. So let's take a look at your mermaid half. Let's see. I'm just kind of going through your guys' comments real quick. And Time Harvest says, although they are less warrior-like, they are still the best and put up for a fight. They help us humans so much. Hence, hence Tara. Oh, you're talking about the blue avians. Those guys are rad. And Lewis says, same goes for food. For example, if one prefers drinking Coca-Cola, does it mean you automatically will not enjoy a Sprite or OJ? Many flavors will quench the thirst all at the same time. Very, very true. Actually, I love how you put that. That's wonderful. This is, one doesn't deny the other. Exactly. Time Harvest says, who would have thought that bird beings would have so much gall to put themselves in the line to help us? That's why I admire those blue avians. And Lila says, we do have hummingbirds on this side of the planet. They are so amazing to witness. Cuteness overload. Well, I'm glad you're enjoying our little friends. They do love to put on a show, let me tell you. And Time Harvest says, man, one time a hummingbird entered my room and I saw a slow motion, his big, beautiful hummingbird eyes passing towards my face, and will never forget. That happens every once in a while, like if their feeders are out, which they can empty a feeder in like less than a day. But they'll like come right up to you. They're like, and you're like, and they're like, hey lady, you gonna fill up my crack water? Like, hey lady, come on, crazy lady. Okay, so let's pull a card for Shadowlands, her last question about otherkin. And then if other people want to do super chats and super stickers, let's do those after our channeling, and we'll have our channeling be next. Okay, so I was just getting a vision of like elusiveness, like hearing the slapping of the tail on water. But then when you look, like all you see is like ripples where something used to be, but it's like the water is dark and mysterious. And ooh, what an image. I love that. And then you would just have to trust your intuition that there is something there, even though my five senses cannot see them. Ooh, we have Tribal Spirit Dancer. Shadowlands, very much are you a piece of what you would consider the otherkin, a piece of that mermaid energy. You just happen to be land-based at the moment, but you're finding ways to embrace that aspect of yourself, and that this is like you literally you are where you need to be right now. The things that you're embracing with your wand making, with the, the mermaid tails, and embracing that watery aspect, connecting to that previous life, which technically, if time doesn't exist, that life is still happening. So that enables you to tap into it, so that you can utilize that flow, that siren song, to help guide you in your life right now. So I love that. I love that so much. Wow. Wow. And John said, ooh, a landmaid. Yes, you are a landmaid. Okay. So let's put those aside. And then Lily, are you still here? Are you still with us, Chica? Definitely let me know. I'm gonna have some water right now. Because Lily, if you're here, we can get ready to do our channeling now. Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's create a little link ski in our studio here. Okay, so I'm gonna go invite guests, copy. All right, you guys, I'm gonna be posting this into the comments right quick. Okay. All right, I need to go back here. Oops, did it post? It did. All right. Woo! All right. So I posted a link there where it says streamyard.com/ a bunch of blah, blah, blah. That is for Lily. So Lily, if you want to click on that, that'll take you into the studio here with moi. And then we could, do our Andromedan channeling. Okay. Time Harvest says, any Lyrans in the chat, or am I the only one? Lyrans in the house, where you at? Shadowland says, where in the universe would be planets that are completely surfaced in water? Didn't they used to think that Neptune was all water, but maybe it could be that it's just all gas? But, we might have to look outside this solar system, and there are so many planets and stars way out past our solar system. So I'm sure that either one exists in the 3D, or one exists in 4D, or, possibly a different D, a different dimension. But yeah, I would say that, as far as my knowledge goes, I can't name a planet off the top of my head, but that's not to say that there aren't planets like that outside of our solar system. Lily says, LOL, yes. Give me a couple. All right, yay. By the way, I don't think you guys can see, so I'll turn around, but I rarely wear this kind of headpiece that I have. It's just kind of special to me. But anyway, so I have all of my blue feathers. Hold on, let me adjust myself here. But it has all these, you guys can see it? Yeah. All these cool blue feathers. And it was actually a couple of the feathers fell off. And that is what I had turned into these cool little earrings, because I don't like anything to go to waste. Time Harvest says, take your time, Lily. It says, oh man, I'm the only cat in the chat. Well, let's ask the people in the chat. Hold on. There we go. I was sitting on my hair and sitting on my Afghan, or whatever you call this. So if you are connected to a particular energy at this time, let us know in the chat right now while we wait for our friend Lily, what energy you most closely align with. So some might say, oh, I feel more closely aligned at this moment in my life with blue avians, or maybe I'm more closely aligned with Lyrans, or maybe I'm more closely aligned with Sasquatch, or maybe fairy beings, maybe mermaids, maybe connected more with deity at this time. So you might say, I feel more connected to Saraswati, or I might be more connected to, I don't know, Hecate, or I'm more feel closely aligned with, like I'm really following Jesus at this time, you know. So definitely let us know. Time Harvest says, those blue feathers are so you. Well, thank you. And Lilith says, pretty headpiece. This is, I'm not sure. Time Harvest. And Time Harvest says, I love feathers too. If I could, I would wear one every time I go outside. Well, hey, I'm always, every time I find a nice feather on the ground, I'm going to pick that up, pick that up. Okay, just looking in the little chat there. Lilith says, might be part Lyran, but also avian. Ooh, at this time. Cat and bird, I love it. Shadowland says, I'd love a headband like that, but having seashells instead of feathers. Ooh, Shadowlands, that would be a beautiful art project. Go around and collect a bunch of seashells, and then if you have like a little Dremel or something, you can get like a little hole through the seashell. You could like string it through, or maybe you could hot glue it if you didn't want to put like holes in it. Ooh, you can even make some shell earrings. Ooh, and you can make it so like the shells like clank when you walk a little bit. You could put like, I know they, I think, yeah, if you dry out some sand dollars, or if you find some dried out sand dollar, I wouldn't really dry out. I mean, I would dry out a sand dollar that was already dead. I wouldn't like kill a live one, but yeah, there's so much that you could do with that. Ooh, that's a fun project. Costalini says, I feel connected to the American Express Centurion guy. Must be an abundance thing. I don't know. I love that. Nice, nice. Okay. Oh, I hear certain fellows. Oh, hi. Hi. Hi there. Hey, Char Char. Hi, Inky. Wow. So before we call in the Andromedans, we've called in the canines. Hi. Hi. Hello. Yes. Oh, hi, Charlie. Hi, Inky. Careful, careful, careful. Yes, careful, careful. I know. Okay. All right. Wow. Nice to see you too. It's nice to see you too. Raider, you're being called. You're being called, my sir. My good sir. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. He thinks he's a lapdog. There you guys. You got a dose of canine energy, Syrian energy. Seriously. It was nice to see them. I haven't seen them in a hot minute, because they've been with their mama down in the valley. Now they're back. All right, our friend Lily is here. I can't hear you though.
Oh, wait. What about now? No?
Let's see. Is your mic on?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I have to take my microphone off. That's why I can't. My bad.
Oh, Walter.
Okay, I can hear you.
Hi.
Hey. All
I thought
right.
I'd cover the sign in case, Okay.
Yeah. I was like, what? Yeah. I don't know why it is that if I wear my microphone, I can't hear the other person. It's
Oh.
I'll figure it out someday. Okay, so Lilith is saying, hi, Lily. John says, dollar doves, are they connected to the blue avians? Oh, okay. So people got some questions in here as well.
Okay.
Okay. So for this next channeling of the blue avians, if you guys have questions, put it in the chat, and then Lily will read off your questions. And of course, Lily, if you have questions of your own, please, feel free to ask them.
Wait, I can't
But
see the chat though.
oh,
I mean, I see it on the side, but it's really, really small. So, because I'm on my phone.
oh, okay. Well then, Riley would probably post it on the screen for you so that you'd be
Okay.
able to read it off the screen,
Okay.
just like he's doing right now. Can you see those ones?
I see Time Harvest says, "Hey Lily." Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. Um. All right. So let me just read a few more of these, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I'm so excited.
Okay.
I feel like their energy has been like waiting
Yeah, they're
for
all
a while.
around. Like they're all around. So.
Exactly. Um. Let's see. Time Harvest says, so pretty and accessories give my Native American vibes, which are the most aesthetic people in the world. I that's what a part of my culture I love to embrace is my Native American half. Just not like aesthetically, but just in like grounding myself in nature, really, and connecting to it, utilizing it, and yeah. So very nice. Let's see. Time Harvest's Native American aesthetic is my jam. And Shadowland says, I have some small jingle bells that I could add into it when I get more seashells. I like the most inland mermaid can get. Illinois is a landlocked state. So you're an Illinois mermaid. Well, that's cool too. We need mermaids everywhere. Time Harvest says, who let the dogs out? Oh, 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 oh. Nice. And John says it's a bone in the sand dollar that looks like a dove. It was just a loose association, not necessarily a question. Oh, I get it. Interesting. I have some sand dollars that I've kind of collected since I was a little kid because I grew up by the ocean. I'll have to take a look at them. That's interesting. Cool, cool. All right. So let's have some more water. Again, start posing your questions. Maybe do it in all caps so it's easier for Lily to see when it's posted on the screen. So if you have a question for the Andromedans, I don't know which Andromedan is coming forward because there's obviously a lot of different species in the Andromedan galaxy. So I don't know if it's one I've already connected to, or I don't know, or who knows. But definitely post your questions there so that she can read them. And again, if she has questions of her own, she'll ask those as well. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Who, me? Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know. They'll pop up as they come along.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. We have some
They're
more.
already like chit chatting, so I'm just like, okay, I need a second.
Okay. We got our Wawa. We need, hold on, one more thing. It's stuck in my little pocket here. My cherry chapstick.
Oh.
Okay. All right. And I think Time Harvest already posted his first question. Cool beans.
Yes.
Okay. So just like before, as I'm dropping in, you can go ahead and introduce yourself and all the things that you do, all the wonderful things, and then anything that you know of the Andromedans already, like from like previous channelings or that you have gotten. And then when I'm ready, I'll just say okay, and then we'll just start asking questions. If you have a timer, um, maybe keep the actual just like session itself like to 15 minutes. And
Okay.
then, ask the being if it has any final question or a final things to say. And then I'll come out of it. We can have like quick chit chat. And yeah. So, I
Okay.
mean, you know.
I'm
Okay.
getting all warm. Okay.
I'm going to put a little bit of Reincarnation Portal spray.
Oh, it's funny because I was actually like, I
I'll give you
blessed the area over here because there was a portal too. So we're connected. Yeah, I love that.
nice. Okay. We got the connection vibes going on. Oh, all right.
Okay.
So Time Harvest has a question. Shadowlands has a question. Time Harvest has some more. Riley's got a timer set. All right. All right, here we go. I'll see you on the other side.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Lily. I'm a channeler also, and a psychic medium. I've done a couple of these with Tara. So I guess today we're going to speak to an Andromedan. And there's a wall of them actually in front of me. So they're ready whenever she is. Um, let's see.
Okay.
Okay. Hello. Who are we speaking with today?
Guru,
Okay. Okay. From which dimension?
you before, after, fifth dimensional.
Okay. So we actually have a few questions from everyone watching here today. Are you okay with answering the questions right now, or did you want to speak to us first?
Yes, yes, I listen, I answer.
Okay. First question. What do you do to pass time as an Andromedan?
Time is not of the essence. It is not something we worry about. So there's no focus, so to speak, on it. Therefore, it is only what is happening now, here, in the present. Me speaking to you. I am not worried what I will do afterwards. I'm not worried what I did beforehand. I am worried only about speaking to you now and as accurately and succinctly as possible. So there is no boredom to be had. There is no waiting. This is something that me, the others, do not have, is waiting. Waiting for what? If you want something, you make it happen right now.
Okay. Um, I have, well, my own question. I see 10 of you in front of me. Do you all hail from the same dimension, or are you popping in from different areas, different galaxies?
Hard to say, but I would say all from fifth dimension, but different aspects of the one that you speak to now. Aspects of my future self, my previous self, my lineage, all of us that came before, all of us now, and those that come after. This is the fifth dimension. It appears as though there is a past, present, and future standing before you, but really all is now. So there is no really future or past, just versions or energy of this and all that you see now.
Okay. I have another question from Shadowlands. What galaxy would a mermaid not from Earth be from?
One moment. Not so much a name that I can pronounce, but I could give you the numerical equivalent. 11388.1333. This is the name. This is not residing in your third dimension. This is crossover, fourth dimensional. Exists, yes, but hard for you to see with third dimensional eyes.
Okay. It's funny because growing up in Haiti, we saw mermaids, and you would see one and she'd be in and out, in and out, in and out. So you're describing it perfectly. It's like almost between 4.5, and 5, almost.
It is the understanding that we gained here in the third dimension. Yes, all of us, whether you speak of this mermaid or you speak of us, we have been here before and we learned within this dimension how to access the portal within, that everything is astral or a dream, and therefore it can be anything you want it to be. So if I want to be visible to you, I could. If I want to be invisible to you, I could. Have I gone anywhere? No. I am right here.
Okay. Second question from Time Harvest. How long does one take to be completely in tune with your frequency, which is 344374? And why does it feel so hard to do it on this earth, which drags us down?
There is no time limit. It is different from being to being if they wish to access that frequency. That frequency is your death and rebirth. It's not to say that one must physically die, but to be in that energy between being born into this incarnation and exiting this incarnation and holding them in perfect balance, in harmony, understanding the joy in both and also the sorrow in both. And then in realizing that they just are, they are mirrors of each other. And so when you come to embrace this energy, you embrace our energy, as many of us are not only in positive polarity, but neutrality and perfect balance between light and dark, shadow and light, positive, negative, neutrality. And these are the greatest polarity separations in your life is death and rebirth. That is that number. If you can accept it and embrace it, that one cannot live, quote unquote, without the other, one cannot die without the other, then you have embraced our frequency. How long this takes you in linear time is not for me to say.
Okay. Thank you. One question from Lilith Phoenix. Is the topography of this planet bigger than we were led to believe in school? And are mythical beings really real beyond the firmament that divides us from the rest of this planet?
First part of your question, the topography of the planet Earth. There are many parts or aspects of the Earth that are to remain hidden from, you might say, the general populace, that those who wish to control. This goes back many, many eons, even going back into, which you might say, the stone people time, when one wanted to gain power over another, having an innate understanding of the land and in all its uses, not just its physical, but its energetic uses as well. If they could take this understanding and lord over others with it, they felt that much more powerful. But the thing is that everyone is connected. So the moment somebody learns something, you cannot keep it hidden from others for long. And so there are those who have connected to aspects of your earth, but you would not find it on any map. Some is far below the surface in your oceans or the dirt. Some of it is high above your surface and not on land or water at all. And some of it, yes, does reside on the water, on the land, that is kept hidden, but it cannot be hidden permanently, for you are a part of the planet itself as well. And if you wish to find these areas, you can, and many have, and many do live there, so they do know of it. And you ask of these mythical beings, the ones that are told and passed down in written and oral tradition, they all come from something that had occurred. So let's say with fairies, many would say that fairies are something but imagination. They are a part of tales and myths, but they are real beings. They may not look as they have been depicted, perhaps like your pixies, you might say, but they do exist. And many of the beings that are deemed mythical do exist, but perhaps not in the form that you might see them to exist. So, in connecting with those beings, all you need to do is set your intention and see what you can learn from each other. If you can think it, as they say, then it is true.
Okay, thank you. Um, so as you're speaking, now there's five of you. The the being in the middle is holding a lamp, but it's very, very bright, and they're indicating to me it has to do with the portal today or with the eclipse today. Could you speak more on that?
Yes, it is more, well, we should say layer upon layer. It is not the moon and the sun and the earth's involvement that create this portal. What you see as a lunar eclipse is merely something to wake you up, so to speak, that there is an energy that you created right now. It is as if you are sending you your own repeating number or feather or hummingbird to wake you out of your slumber, your waking slumber. So, yes, at this time, the veil between your waking world and your sleeping world is very, very thin, and it is thinning every day. And in our dimension, it is completely gone. We already see the multitude of paths that many of you have taken because of this portal. But I cannot tell you where it goes because that would interfere with your free will. So, if your dreams and your physical world were one and the same, what would you do? And focus on that today and moving forward and see how you can make that a reality. Because if it's real in your dreams, then the problem is only figuring out how to bring it into your waking world. It already exists.
It's funny because the next question kind of touches on that. So, Time Harvest asks, "What's the one advice you would give us that will completely change our life for the better?" So, I guess I don't know if that's the same answer you would give you just gave now, or you would kind of add to it.
I would add to it, yes. There is so much contrast in the third dimension, and this is why it has so much appeal. That for everything that we say is good on this planet, we can say that there are equally some things that are very bad. We can say that there is holy and there is evil, there is light and there is shadow, there is male and there is female, there is water and there is earth. So many beautiful contrasts. And it is not contrasted in a way that everyone should fight amongst each other, that the light should fight with the darkness, or that the water should fight with the land. But it seems that way on the outer surface. But if you were to look more deeply and see that the ocean needs something to encompass it, it needs the ocean floor, it needs its cliffs, it needs something to hold it. Otherwise, it would run until there was no more. You need shadow to see your light, to see how powerful you truly are. That if there is power in evil, then there is power in good as well. To see how, let's say, a man is raised, how a man thinks, how a man operates, how a man receives and gives, being so different from the female in their energies, your feminine and your masculine. They are not opposing, they are just mirrors of each other, and they need one another, just as the ocean needs the land, just as the sky needs the earth, just as light needs shadow, just as positive needs negative. If you can accept that all of these things are needed for your growth, that one is no better than the other, then portals, expansion, so much opens up for you. And if this is something that you are not ready to embrace in this lifetime, even in that, you are part of another contrast and you are so needed at this time.
It's very beautiful. Um, we have another question from John. Can you tell us a tip for safely connecting to and exploring other beings in the cosmos?
Yes, just as I connect to you now, I do not need protection from you. Some might say, in perhaps a different dimension, usually the seventh, they might say you must protect yourself from the third dimension. They are heavy energies. They seek to bring you down. They seek to steal your energy and give you none in the process. That is one perspective. This is not so. So, when connecting to other beings, you must realize those other beings are you. If I were to say, want to protect myself from a third dimensional being, I have to ask myself, what do I fear about myself in the third dimension that I must protect myself from it? And what am I protecting myself from? From my growth? From seeing something that I don't want to see? From my own shadow? You must look it in the eye because those eyes are yours. And it has much to teach you. And when you can use it as a learning aid instead of something to fear, well, then you are set free, my friend.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm being told that was the last question. Thank you for being with us today, and we'll see you hopefully soon.
Yara'a shirna koremia harinmon ashama ashama ashama.
Welcome back.
Oh, oh,
Breathe.
I'm like, okay. Yeah, okay.
The energy was so high. Walter has not moved. He's just like trying to ground us. It was just so like so nice.
Wow. I don't remember anything.
Okay.
um, I just remember, in fact, I don't even remember what the being looked like. I just remember how it felt.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I mean, I felt that there was a lot of beings. I
Hmm.
couldn't, I don't remember seeing them, or maybe I did and I
Okay.
just don't remember. But, um, and then it felt like, I don't know, it felt like if it was all of us that could be like condensed into one human being, like if you took
Mm.
every human being on the planet and you made them one human being, and, and then that human being was like the wisest thing that ever could happen. That was what
Mm.
that felt like.
Okay.
Like super evolved and wise. If you took like all of the human race and condensed them into one, like that was interesting. Yeah.
Huh.
um,
Okay.
what did you think?
I don't know. It's just okay. So all I saw was 5 to 10 of them in front of me, and they had one spokesperson, I believe Huru. Um, but there was also Thomas who was holding a light, and
Mhm.
then it was explained. Well, I guess you can go back to watch, but it's just
Mhm.
they weren't really speaking as one. It was just more speaking in turn.
Yeah.
Like usually they would speak as one, but they were just kind of waiting for their turn, or just kind of like a whole crowd traveling together to speak to us today. So,
That
like their
kind of,
entourage, I guess.
yeah. I mean, that makes sense because it felt like it didn't, yeah, it didn't. I guess that's why I was saying, like, it kind of felt like the whole humanity came together to speak as
Mm,
one, but really it's them, which I guess is us. And I don't know. But yeah, it was like, it felt like different. Like I thought it was the same being speaking differently, but I think
mm-hmm,
maybe it was just different beings
mm.
speaking, but sort of as one-ish.
But they're still
Wow.
around too, so they're just like, we're just
Yeah.
gonna hang around for a couple hours. I'm like,
Yeah, they're
okay.
like, we're just gonna be here in case you got some more questions, you know? Wow. Thank you so much for asking the questions, and thank you to everybody in the chat who was asking questions. I don't remember anything, so I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch this and do my little editing that I do just to have an intro and outro. And then I will put this out tomorrow, Monday, so that everybody who missed the live chat can at least see this. But I like connecting to their energy. This one was definitely different than the
Hmm.
other beings from Andromeda that I have connected to. It felt like it's from the same place.
Hmm.
Just I don't know. It was a different connection this time, and maybe it's
It's just,
because the portal. I don't know.
yeah, it just felt like more, I would say less, I don't say less serious, less daunting maybe, because I
Hmm.
guess we're all the same now because there's really no more veil. So
Hmm.
maybe that's why it felt different. Like there's nothing separating us from
Hmm.
them. They're literally just here.
Yeah, they're like,
So
hi.
I was like, hey, we're just gonna eat your,
Just hailing from
food.
Andromeda. How's it
Yeah.
going?
So yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And if anybody else in the future would love to be a guest interviewer, I would love to have you. I think that it's wonderful to have all these different perspectives, different questions, even the different energy that the different interviewers bring in. I think is wonderful because every energy that I connect to connects differently depending on the person who's asking the questions or is connecting with them. So I think it's wonderful. I think it's I love it. So let's go ahead and continue this. If you guys have suggestions for future channelings, like I've said before, I have a whole running notepad, electronically speaking, on my phone of every suggestion, every question that people have ever had is I just copy and paste and I just put it in there. And that's where I pull from to get my, well, I guess they're not really my ideas, then they're your suggestions. But that's what I pull from to do these channeling videos and for my patrons and my YouTube members to vote on for their exclusive channelings. And like I said, I think they voted on um, borderline personality disorder to kind of have a look into that and see it from a different perspective, different, viewpoint. And so that'll be coming out soon, possibly next week. So thank you guys. You know that you can email me, Tara@kittensweightsandtarot.com. If you have suggestions and you missed the live chat or you don't have Instagram and you just want to message me, you can message me there. Also, if you would like to be a guest interviewer, you can do that as well. But thank you so much, Lily, for joining us and being a part of this. And we will catch you guys next time. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, thank you. So that way I'll take that. We weren't really going anywhere. That was just for the end of the video. Yeah. So like I said, I have to edit it, but